Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Recovery Snack, Thursday, February 5th. Oh, hope everybody's safe and good out there. Um, just hanging out there doing what we do. Let's dive right in. Y'all bear with me. The Means household has a cold right now. We're snotting and sneezing, and tis the season, I guess. All right, let's dive in. Hazelden, as always. February 5th, AA thought for the day. One thing we learn in AA is to take a long view of drinking instead of a short view. When we were drinking, we thought more about the pleasure or release that a drink would give us than we did about the consequences that would result from our taking that drink. Liquor looks good from the short view. When we look into a package store window, we see liquor dressed all up in its best wrappings and fancy labels and decorations. Everything looks good. Question: but have I learned what's inside those beautiful bottles is just plain poison to me? Meditation for the day. I believe that life is a school in which we must learn spiritual things. I must trust in God and He will teach me. I must listen to God and He will speak through my mind. I must commune with Him in spite of all opposition and every obstacle. There will be days when I hear no voice in my mind, there will be days when I will hear no voice in my mind, and when there will come no intimate heart-to-heart communion. But if I persist and make a life habit of schooling myself in the spiritual things, God will reveal Himself to me in many ways. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may regularly go to the school in things of the Spirit. I pray that I may grow spiritually by making a practice of these things. I like that last sentence. I pray that I may grow spiritually by making a practice of these things. You know, addiction for me pretty much was formed out of habits. It was a habit that started with less frequency when I was young. As it went on, I relied more and more on it. The first paragraph talks about we don't think about the bad things that have the possibility of coming or whatever. God knows my disease, it would never present itself as something that was going to be bad. And most places that I go, when I go out, and always have went out, throughout my life or whatever, restaurants is a good example. Most of them that you walk into, one of the first things that you see is the big lit up bar. Everything looks beautiful and there's lights and it looks festive. It looked like Hey Come Here. If Hey Come Here was a scene, to me anyway, I thought it was interesting, and I thought that the promotional aspect of alcohol in America anyway is it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. Drew me in, no problem, but that was more so me. I don't blame America or marketing or any of that stuff. I made the decisions that I made because I made them. Albeit, I don't believe I was, especially when I was making decisions, was old enough to really comprehend what those decisions meant. By the time I figured out this might be a bad idea, I was already in it, and sometimes it's hard to get out. But this talks about making a practice of it and of your spiritual condition or whatever. If I do this regularly, if I go to school in things of the spirit, it will become um, more so of a habit and just the way that you conduct yourselves in your lives. It talks about it in the meditation for the day right there. There will be days when I will hear no voice in my mind, and when there will come no intimate heart to heart communion with your higher power or whatever. Well, that's what recovery for me is about. Recovery, especially early recovery for me, it was real easy to hang in there and grin and giggle and just, do the deal, man, when everything was going right, you know. But my program, if I keep the habits up, it becomes stronger. And that made it a little bit easier to muddle through the days where there wasn't anything, positive going on. Spiritually, it's raining and foggy or cloudy or whatever, so to say. It especially made it easier to stay on board after I created those habits when life takes a giant crap in your Cheerios in a particular day for no necessary reason other than life is life. I found it to be pretty easy to hang in there and do the deal when things were going your way in early recovery. But when my program showed up, when I was having bad days or mundane days, those are the days that I needed to continue to practice my spiritual connection and remember my program, because all the lights and shining and bings, all the good stuff, wasn't necessarily going on. And especially if you did have something bad go on, you know, it created feelings I didn't want to feel. And I have to remember clearly how I ended up in the capacity of where I found myself in active addiction. And that was going through a whole lot of stuff of medicating things that I didn't want to feel. So I just have to remember that. Keep practicing my spiritual condition, working on not just on the easy days, but on the days that it's just a habit that we do. Um, for me, my journey's produced that a lot of the things I viewed in early recovery are the things that I had to do. But if you hang in there long enough, what you got to do turns into what you get to do. It's no longer the task of doing it. It's just something that you do in your everyday life. No different than if you smoke a cigarette in the morning, a cup of coffee in the morning, bowl of cereal at night. If you're, a person that has those type of habits, ice cream, I'm guilty, ice cream in the evening. It just turns into a habit. It's not anything. It's second nature. It's like involuntary muscle movement, breathing or whatever. It just occurs. When you have those in place like that, your recovery program's just rolling along. Just keep it maintenance like anything else you would maintenance, and hopefully it produces good results for you. So I'm rambling again. Y'all take good care of yourselves out there running around. Please share, subscribe, like, do whatever you felt drawn to do. Trying to build this base up. I appreciate y'all joining me. Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.